to have end-to-end football, and if the last time these two sides met is anything to go off, then it will be one that has a lot to enjoy within it. I'll keep you up to date as well with all the other scores that are going on around the league this evening as well. Columbus play at home to Montreal. DC United are up against New England Revolution. Cincinnati are at home to New York City FC. Orlando are at home to Chicago. What a game that is going to be as well. New York Red Bulls are against Nashville. Toronto against Charlotte are all kicking off at the same time in the next couple of minutes. In about half an hour's time, it'll be Sporting Kansas City against St. Louis City. And in an hour's time, Minnesota at Atlanta. And then an hour after that, Colorado LAFC, Salt Lake Dallas, Seattle Sounders against Austin. And there is some even later games. An hour after that, LA Galaxy, San Jose, all over on the West Coast. Portland against San Diego, and up in Canada, Vancouver against Houston. But the game that we're focusing on here is Philadelphia against Inter Miami. And I'll run you through those final team sheets once again, if you did miss that from a moment ago. Philadelphia in goal is Andre Blake, the 35-year-old. Westfield, Pierre, Hariel and Wagner are the back four. Wagner down that left-hand side. Philadelphia's all-time assist leader returning after 7 months with Birmingham City, and immediately provided 2 assists in that Atlanta comeback. Sullivan, Jean-Jacques Bueno and Vasilev the midfield four. Ilioski and Damiani the front two. Ilioski, the man on fire. 8 goals in 7 games, including 6 games in a row. The last game, the only one he has failed to score in during that time, and helping Philadelphia to the rebound that they have had recently. For Inter Miami, Dane St. Clair comes in for Rocco Rios Novo after his torrid game against Nashville, conceding 4. The back four of Regulion, Falcon, Lujan and Frey. The midfield 3 of Segovia dropping back from that front 3 line because De Paul is suspended. Casemiro and Yannick Bright. And David Pinto comes in to the front 3 alongside Luis Suarez and Lionel Messi. The referee, Filip Dujic. Ian McKay is on the lines with Tyler Wiretek. Pierre-Luc Lozier is the 4th official. David Barn is the VAR, and Matthew Rodman as well. We're coming up to 22:08 local time here in Philadelphia. We are almost going to be getting underway in a few moments. But what a season it has been for both of these two sides. The last game for Inter Miami against Nashville was a real wake-up call. First against second. Now Inter Miami travel against one of the form sides in the division. Messi has 12 goals in 16. He hasn't, though, scored in his last 3. Ilioski 10 in 19, with 8 of those coming, as we mentioned, in the last 7. Both still chasing Musa at the top of the scoring pile. His 14 goals in 17 games is a league-leading total. But we're here in Chester, Pennsylvania. 18,500 seats, all waiting with bated breath for this game to get underway on the Delaware River, southwest of central Philadelphia. Inter Miami, 2nd in the East. Philadelphia, 13th in the East. 4 wins in a row for Philadelphia. Philadelphia in their all-white strip, about to get us underway, and we are up and running 10 minutes after the advertised kickoff, as is tradition in the American League because of sponsors. It is the only league that does like to kick off a little bit later, keeps you just in a bit of suspense, and I guess it makes sure everybody is in their seat at least. And there is plenty of Inter Miami fans in the seats. They're in their all black with pink trim going from left to right. You probably have surmised already, as Philadelphia trying to start rather quickly with Westfield down the right-hand side. Just wins a throw-in off Regulion, who just recovers across. He didn't do too badly on that left-hand side last time around, Regulion. He did concede plenty of goals, and they could have conceded far, far more in that game. Miami, they were lucky to find themselves back in the game at half-time before a very, very quick turnaround in the second half by Nashville in that contest, with a lovely little back heel from Sam Surridge as well. As a long throw comes from those in cream on the far side of the pitch, laid down nicely in the middle by Damiani. Just tries to push it in towards the midfield over to Sullivan over on the right hand side, but in doing so he just held off Regulion and just had his arms up a little bit too high, and the free kick goes into Miami's way, and they will be expecting an instant reply in this game. The last time these sides met, if you listen to the build up of this game and all the stats that I was going through, it was 4-4 at half time in the 10-goal riot that we saw back on the 24th of May. Miami coming out 6-4 winners after a rather tame second half, but Philadelphia led 2-0 in that game inside the opening 10 minutes, 3-1 after 20, and then 4-4 at half time. But Miami, the defending champions, they're still second. That gap that Nashville have has increased to 5 points. They're away at New York this evening. I'll keep you up to date with that score as well as all of the others. I'll also keep you up to date with the Copa Sudamerica. Atletico MG against RB Bragantino, 1-1 at the moment in the Libertadores as well. Coquimbo Unido against Club Atlético Platense is 0-0, and Cerro Porteño against Palmeiras. Palmeiras, the Brazilians, they like to win plenty of tournaments, and they're leading in that one by a 1-0 as well. And in the National Women's League, Racing Louisville and Seattle Reign are drawing 1-1 at half-time there. I'll keep you straight with all the scores going on around the grounds, around the continent. 3 minutes gone in this game, nothing of note so far, but it's those in black of Miami pushing towards the right-hand side. The first opportunity to Frey to try and get a ball in towards the box. Pulls it back in towards Suarez, but his first touch was that of a brick wall, and it just bounced off him and into the path of Harriel, who just puts his foot through it, the 25-year-old American, and sends it out of play on this near side. He's one of many homegrown players. He was part of that 2024 Olympics. He passed 100 union appearances in 2025 and scored after 3 minutes against the Necaxa last month as well in the Continental Cup. In that League Cup that they had, they only just won the one game. But both sides have gone out at the group stage in that competition. They'll both now try and focus on their league positions. Philadelphia, with those wins that they've had recently in the domestic league, they do still have a chance to get that wild card place. They're just 5 points off it, despite only having one win from their first 16 games in the league. And it's with Philadelphia on the ball, looking to try and lift it over the top in towards Ilioski, who flips it on the way in towards Damiani. Had a little bit of a shove in his back, but it just goes over the top of him, and it's able to be cleared by Regulion, who just turns back inside his own box towards Casemiro. Looks to go forward, bounces in front of Suarez, but getting ahead of him is Harriel, who knocks it down nicely in towards Vasilev. Doesn't quite sit down though for him. 15 yards off the edge of the Miami penalty area, and it allows those in black to just sweep up and move it out towards Frey on this near side. Early goal in the game between Orlando and Chicago Fire, and it is the away side who have the lead with Dithajani, the man who's got the goal there in a game that has two very exciting players coming into their golden years. Griezmann for Orlando and Lewandowski for Chicago Fire, a man who everybody says should have won the Ballon d'Or during those COVID years when it was decided not to have one. That would have been his had it have been there. Montreal also leading against Columbus Crew on the road in that game. Miami over on the far side of the pitch, just hugging the touchline. Here's Segovia, who just wins a free kick after his shirt was pulled, and then the rolling balls, he tries to sweep it across towards his near side to Lionel Messi. But it was good play just to take it down that left-hand side, just drew in the foul. It was Owusu with the goal for Montreal. Plenty of games kicking off at the same time on this Wednesday evening. Across the American League, there's still plenty of games to go in the domestic league, including this one. 16 games up for grabs, 48 points. They'll focus both of these two sides on 3 at a time. They both have the same ambition, but they both have different priorities at this stage as well. 6.5 minutes played. It's over on the far side with Pierre. Just looks to try and go over the top, but it's easily shepherded back towards the Canadian Dane St. Clair, who's one of the 3 changes for Miami. Starting this game, the Canadian came in for Novo, who didn't have the best of games against Nashville. He got caught out a number of times. And then the man who was a former league all-star MVP is back in the starting lineup for Inter Miami. With Suarez, tries to help it on his way towards Frey down the right-hand side, who continued his run, but in doing so strayed a little bit offside, and the free kick goes Philadelphia's way. So a very tame opening 7 minutes in this game. Certainly not what we saw last time. Ryan Richter, the man in charge for Philadelphia, the interim man, was a former Union player as well, and he comes in to this game now with plenty of expectation. The first man to win 4 games in a row for Philadelphia as a new man coming in. But they've gone from first to the floor and then suddenly flying again over the last 12 months, as a goal has also gone in inside the early stages north of the border in Toronto, as Charlotte have scored on the road. They lead by a 1-0 against Toronto. 3 goals early on, all going to away sides, as Bragantino scored against Atletico MG as well. In this Sudamerica 2-1 they lead, as Frey has the ball halfway inside his own half. Just tries to play it around the corner, looking for the run of Bright, but it's intercepted easily by Philadelphia, but it can't be kept in on the halfway line and taken quickly by Frey. Moves it back in towards Lujan. Across towards Casemiro, playing what appears to be sort of the centre of a back 3. Frey playing a little bit higher up with Lujan on the right-hand side of a 3. Casemiro at the back and Falcon on the left-hand side. He's a big man, Falcon. He's a very imposing figure. And Regulion playing on that left-hand side as well. There's a little bit of a sweeping play as the midfield certainly has a bit more free range with De Paul out, as Messi strides down the right-hand side, cuts back in onto that trusty left boot, follows it all the way to the far side of the pitch in towards Regulion, back across in towards the area. It's sent higher than Bob Marley, and out comes the keeper just to punch it to the edge of the area. Then Bright puts it over the top of the bar, but the referee's whistle, they'd already gone for a challenge on the goalkeeper Blake, the 35-year-old Jamaican, 3-time goalkeeper of the year, one of the greatest players in Union history. A long-time Jamaican international, just doing enough to win the free kick there. But it was a quick move down the right-hand side in towards Messi. Once he gets on the ball, hearts go into mouths of defenders. It was a lovely ball, just switching the play from right to left in towards Regulion. He sent it back to where it came from, in towards the area. It was defended on the first instance by Wagner. And then out came Blake with the punch. Set long, but cleaned up nicely by Casemiro. Sends it towards the halfway line. Taken down by Suarez, but a poor pass, which we saw quite a lot in that game against Nashville. He didn't have the most confidence in that contest. His legs are slowly going. It doesn't take anything away from his wonderful, illustrious career that he has had alongside his friend. And he's played in from the right-hand side and then swept home by Vasilev. And Philadelphia continue their wonderful run. And just like in May, they've started quickly and they've started with a goal. And it's from one end to the other. Simple football. Played down the right-hand side to Sullivan. He just looks up, whips the ball in towards the box. Nobody's marking Vasilev, who just sweeps home from 6 yards out. And it's Philadelphia 1, Miami 0. And once again, Miami are losing by a goal to nil in the space of a couple of days. But a beautiful ball in towards the box. Casemiro hasn't stayed with the runner. Falcon got done by the pace on that right-hand side of Westfield, who put a delicious ball in towards the area. Frey couldn't get back. He peeled away from his runner and then just tucked it in from 6 yards out. In Indiana, Vasilev, the former Aston Villa Academy player, he's appeared in the English top flight before returning to America, has given Philadelphia the lead 10 minutes into this game. And what can Inter Miami do here? They're closing down on those wildcard places. The Philadelphia Union, they're looking like the team of last season. It's played again towards the left-hand side, in towards the scorer Vasilev. Just trying to break down the channel, being pushed in the back by Frey. The referee happy with it though. Manages to get his pass in towards Wagner, who looks to send it towards the edge of the area, but it doesn't quite sit with a couple of players and a few deflections on the way through as well. Sent towards the halfway line, taken down by Harriel, in towards Wagner. Just looks up and tries to send it in towards Bueno, who's a little knock on the left-hand side by the Venezuelan, also draws a foul from Lujan and wins those in white or cream, if you will. A free kick a couple of yards off this near-time touchline, level with the dugouts. A goal as well for Cincinnati against New York City inside 15 minutes of that game. Dem was the scorer in that contest. And it was Aloko, the man I failed to mention, that scored against Toronto for Charlotte. But an instant reply from Toronto, in fact, with Simmer. Mancic, the man who's levelled it up 1-1 there inside 14 minutes. But Philadelphia looking to try and double their advantage from the left-hand side. Whipped in by Wagner to the far side, not back across the box. And how that's not squirmed into the back of the net, I'll never know. It was a beautiful ball in from Wagner to the far side of the box. It was sent back in to the 6-yard box. It looked like Pierre got the final header in. And then there was 2-3 Philadelphia players just waiting to poke it home. A bit of indecision. And Miami get away with one there, and it's still Philadelphia leading by a goal to nil. But what an opportunity that was to double their advantage from a free kick, and they've won the ball back just inside their own half again. Now try and spread it towards the right-hand side. They've certainly been paying attention to how Nashville played against Miami a few days ago. Playing it from the right, in towards Vasilev on the left. Tries to go for goal himself, but blocked by Frey. Comes back out on this near side for Philadelphia. Still not cleared just yet. Wagner back in towards the area. Ilioski goes down under a just touch of pressure, but the referee deems there to be no foul. And to be fair to the American front man, he didn't appeal for anything there, but there's pressure on this Miami defence at the moment. And the momentum that Philadelphia have taken in these early stages. Philly punched first, and now they're trying to add a second blow to that Miami defence. On the edge of the Miami area once again, dinked around the corner, in towards Damiani, tries to pull it back in towards Ilioski, who just misread the pass entirely. Cleared out towards Wagner, 2 yards off the left-hand corner of the area. The runner goes down the left-hand side of Vasilev. He flips it towards the far side of the box, but good keeping on that occasion from Sinclair, who just comes out and commands his area to pick that one from the sky and to give Miami a little bit of a breather and a reprieve for the time being, because the pressure is mounting. It's not quite desperation station just yet for the away side, but they really need to find an early reaction. The game could well get away from them if they don't react. They are without a number of key players due to injury and suspension, but that certainly shouldn't be an excuse for a side that has some real firepower in its lineup. It still has the likes of Casemiro, Messi, Suarez and Reguilon in the side. It's Philadelphia again, look to go long, this time in more hope than expectation as Lujan just plays it out of play level with the edge of his own penalty area. As the pressure continues to pile up on the Miami back line. The game took a few minutes to come alive in the opening stages, but since then, Philadelphia have just controlled the possession and the pressure inside the Miami half, who can't get it out of their own half just yet. It's picked up by Westfield, moves it towards Sullivan on the right hand side. He's got Reguilon ahead of him in Segovia, trying to come across and do some defensive work, but Reguilon's just gone straight into him. He's gone down on the ground now. Sullivan, he's trying to appeal for a free kick, but the referee having absolutely none of it. And Miami will come away with the ball on the far side, and Sullivan, who had an excellent game last time around, was on, I think it was TikTok, looking at a very well-known game of which you go around the hotels and the houses and the streets. Well, go around the streets and you try and get hotels and houses. I'm sure you can guess which one that might be. It wasn't that entertaining of a video. I just saw it the other day and it just piqued my interest, seeing him on the right-hand side with that dyed grey hair. There's a man with naturally appearing grey hair. It's nice to see what people far better looking than I look like with grey hair, or I certainly think the wife might think I am great looking until she files for divorce in however many years' time she decides to do that. I was going to say I wouldn't blame her, but fingers crossed that doesn't happen. But 18.5 minutes gone, we're getting off track. We are very happily married, it has been 3 years. With 18.5 minutes gone, is with Inter Miami. Been together almost as long as Messi's been with Inter Miami. He's had plenty of opportunities to win trophies. One of the reasons he came to America was the amount of trophies that can be won in a calendar year. There's another one coming up as well. They'll play Cruz Azul as the winners of Mexico and the American leagues. As he's back on the edge of their own area, Philadelphia playing a little bit dangerously, but managed to break away. And all of a sudden they're set free. Looked like he might have been offside there in the meantime. Damiani was going to go all the way through. The linesman still not put his flag down, and a superb save from St. Clair. And it has to be questioned how far he was onside there, if he was onside at all, but it's still in the box. Damiani sends it across. It takes a deflection on the way through and straight in towards a grateful St. Clair in the box. But it just opened up in the back line for Miami. Philadelphia were playing on the edge of their own penalty area. Miami tried with the high press. They sent it forward, and he was well onside, was Damiani. And bless my heart, he was inside his own area by about a foot. By the time I looked across after the deflection came on through, he was a yard or two inside the Miami half. But he kept himself inside his own half, found himself through, and really should have done better then with the finish. He wasn't under too much pressure, but Messi, who tends to come under a lot of pressure when he gets hold of the ball, sending it towards the left-hand side, and then it's tucked away into the goal. And that miss from Damiani punished at the other end. It was a lovely ball from Messi to the left-hand side of the penalty area, played back in towards the box, and it's the man that's coming, Daniel Pinter, who finished it at the far post, a yard out. And Miami have restored parity in this game, the champions counter. And Philadelphia had the momentum here in Chester, Pennsylvania. But Miami have muted the moment and made it level. It was Messi, the creator, towards the left-hand side, knocked back by Suarez, in that corridor of uncertainty. A wonderful header from the Uruguayan. The keeper and the defender came flapping at it there. And then across came Pinter just to tuck it in from 2 yards out. And Miami are level. It's Philadelphia 1, Inter Miami 1. And how big will that miss be from Damiani up the other end from moments ago? And just like it made a couple of early goals and a couple of early goals as well in a few of the other games, Charlotte restored their lead against Toronto with Gorno, the man, getting the second for Charlotte. They lead 2-1 on the road. Chicago Fire still lead by goal to nil against Orlando City. 0-0 between New York and Nashville. 0-0 between DC United and New England Revolution. Columbus Crew have levelled it with an own goal from Gillier against Montreal. 20 minutes into that contest. And it's also 1-1 now between Cincinnati and New York City as well, with Luigi, their man, to level it 10 minutes after Dem put Cincinnati ahead. Pinter restoring parity, but here come Philadelphia, and it's a poor pass down the left-hand side, and Wagner frustrated with it. He was asking for it well in front of him. He had the space, but the pass went miles behind him and out of play for a throw into the away side. Just down in front of us here. And 23 minutes gone in this game. You're listening to off-tube commentary, unofficial off-tube commentary, I should add, of this game between Philadelphia and Miami. 1-1 is the scoreline here. It's been an excellent opening 23 minutes, and just like in that game against Nashville, Miami have found a way back in, and rather harshly to the side that took the lead first, as New England scored against DC United. 1-0 is the scoreline there, as Frey's breaking down the right-hand channel. Gets a good shove in the back, with the referee points to the goalkeeper to take a goal kick instead. But Miami, they're also without Silvetti, Allende, Dos Santos Silva as well. A couple of doubts in the side before the start of this game. Dos Santos Silva's got that right ankle sprain that was confirmed just 7 days ago. Silvetti as well with his left shoulder dislocation about 2 weeks ago, and Allende still on his long-term rehab. Philadelphia without Jovan Lukic, he's suspended for this contest. And apart from that, they have an almost full accompaniment of players to have chosen from. From Richter, the man at the helm, temporarily, but it may become permanent with the way that they have been playing and picking up results. Frey. Now Miami have started to wake up, tries to play it towards Suarez, gets lucky as he misses Suarez, but goes through towards Segovia on the left-hand side, pulls it back in towards the middle, tries to find a pass in towards Suarez and then returns it back to Segovia, but Suarez is taken out. The referee, though, plays advantage. Messi on the right-hand side of the 6-yard box, pulls it back and goes for goal, and what a finish that is. Miami take the lead, and it's Lionel Messi given half a chance, and you cannot do that in football, whether it's 20 years ago or whether he's 39. Miami have the lead. It's Philadelphia 1, Miami 2, and it's magic from Messi to give Miami the lead. And he scored here in 2023. He's haunted Philadelphia before, but Messi magic on the Delaware. The master leaves another mark in Chester. And from 1-0 down, they've turned this game around in a matter of minutes. It was superb refereeing. The ball came in towards the middle from Segovia, in towards Suarez. He took a clattering into the back. He tried to find the return back in towards Segovia. The referee played advances. Frey picked it up right on the edge of the D. He sends it to Messi on the right-hand side of the penalty area, pulls it back in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, just takes one touch, bides his time, 3 players around him, and then just dicks it in towards the far corner. And there's absolutely nothing that Andre Blake, the Jamaican, could have done about that. Messi with his 13th of the season. Miami are in front on the road. And after 20 minutes of finding themselves under real pressure from Philadelphia, they've done what they've done plenty of times. And they've given it to the maestro. And the maestro produces. And now they're trying to come again over on the far side, but returning, and Sullivan just steals the ball, trying to drive down towards the right-hand side, and he's going to win a free kick 15 yards off the right-hand corner of the penalty area. An opportunity for the home side to try and find themselves back on level terms and put some pressure on St Clair in the goal. Well, Miami before Sunday had an excellent record, just 2 defeats. Before that game on Saturday. They put together a long unbeaten league run during the campaign. They'd love to start that again. But it's Philadelphia with the free kick from the far side of the pitch. One of those standing over it is Wagner, put in an excellent ball earlier on in this half, which really should have found its way in the back of the net after it's sent back across by Pierre, and then a couple of Philadelphia players just didn't know really what to do with it. They dithered and hesitated for a moment, and that allowed Miami to clear the ball. But what can happen on this occasion? It's left, played in towards the middle, towards the far side, and scrambling across was Harriel, diving towards it head first. He committed himself in, but he just couldn't quite get on the end of a wonderful ball in from Pierre. Wagner stepped away, Pierre whipped it in, and Harriel peeled off his man at the far post, left all alone, but couldn't quite latch on to the end of it. But the linesman's flag also went up, I think, over on the far side, as St Clair is going to restart the play from the edge of his own box instead. The head-to-heads between these two sides is certainly one that is always full of goals. We've mentioned that 6-4 back on the 24th of May. Back in August of 2023 at this very ground in Chester, Pennsylvania. Miami won 4-1 in a summer knockout semi-final. Messi scoring from distance in one of his first Miami Road appearances. Then a year later, in June of 2024, Miami won 2-1 here despite finishing with just 9 men. Leo Alfonso scoring a late winner. Philadelphia therefore have quite a few recent home scars against Miami. It is a radically different moment for them, with Union on that 4 straight league wins, but Miami trying to get themselves back to winning terms once again. Nashville still drawing after half an hour on the road against New York. That little cushion that they've got just allows them to have a slip up, which they will obviously try to avoid an immediate slip up. But Miami doing the right thing at the moment in terms of trying to get themselves a little bit closer. Those in yellow playing over in New York, not too far geographically from where we are here in Pennsylvania. But on the left-hand side with Vassile. Continues it over towards Sullivan. Tries to get it back in towards the box, looking for Ilowski. Back out towards Sullivan, whose shot is blocked and deflected over towards the far corner, and it goes out for a corner to Philadelphia. Just trying to apply a little bit of pressure on this Miami defence. We've got just less than 15 minutes to go inside this first half. It's Miami who have the lead on the scoreboard. Philadelphia arguably the better side in this game. But it is Miami who needed to show some signs of life, which we mentioned earlier. Not only have they come alive, it appears they've resurrected themselves in this game once again, almost like Philadelphia have done this season. They're trying to get themselves back into the ascendancy with a corner over on the far side of the pitch. It's with Wagner standing over it with an in-swinger. Pierre makes his way forward in towards the box, as does his centre-half partner of Harry Yell, but the referee is just going to pause a little bit of play. Paused the play. There's a little bit of pushing and shoving just going on inside the penalty area, and rather pointless pushing and shoving between Damien and Bright, and they're still at it inside the box, and the referee may have to come across and have another little word between them. Both got hold of each other's shirt. As Casemiro just steps in and says, leave it with me. Sending it towards the box, and it's cleared off the line, and it's a superb block. St Clair couldn't quite get there, but Regulion did. He was in the right place at the right time at the far post. It's a wonderful ball in towards the box. Pierre with the header down inside the 6-yard box. And Regulion was there to clear it off the line. And then landing on top of it and holding the ball like a newborn mother cradles a child. A newborn mother? Like a mother cradles a newborn child. I don't think that's possible to ever happen. Maybe in an alternate universe. Probably in the Marvel universe. Something strange like that might happen in at least one of them. Personally excited for the new film to come out. After a few years of disappointment. The disappointment in this game at the moment is Philadelphia's, despite playing some attractive football and some attacking attractive football as well, as they just look into Miami to go towards the right hand side and try and find Pinter, but it's just over the top of him and out for a throw in again to the home side on this near side. No other goals have gone in the other games that have kicked off. In the league this evening, plenty of other games still to come in around about 30 minutes time. It should be 15 minutes time, around about 30 minutes time. Minnesota and Atlanta will get themselves underway, as will Colorado Rapids against LAFC. Real Salt Lake against FC Dallas is also at the same time as Colorado and LAFC, an hour after, with Seattle Sounders and Austin also kicking off, and in an hour after those games, LA Galaxy, San Jose Earthquakes, Portland Timbers, San Diego and Vancouver Whitecaps against Houston Dynamo, and then a few more games coming at the weekend again in just 3 days' time, separating these sets of fixtures that are coming thick and fast in the American top flight. It's on the left-hand side, played in towards Sullivan on the left-hand channel, but just bullied off the ball, and he's going to try and protest to win the throw-in, but he's not going to get it, and he's furious with the referee in the middle of the park. As those in the stand are showing a bit of frustration as well at that decision about how that did go Miami's way, but there's not a lot they can do now to change that decision. Frey gets hold of the ball inside this lovely little 18,500 seater stadium on the Delaware River. Back in towards the left-hand side and in towards Sullivan, who tries to sweep it towards goal but just doesn't quite make the connection as it trickles its way in towards the keeper. He looked to try and test himself from range, but he has to do better with that strike, as he's back with those in black once again. Lujan strides forward. Those 2 goals in a short 5-minute spell for Miami, turning this game on its head inside the first half. 10 minutes to go before half-time here. A little flick around the corner from Pinter, goes out for a thrown over on the far side in the last 10 minutes or so. We've been back in Philadelphia's wheelhouse once again, with them just controlling the ball, but just like they did in the 20 minutes before Miami found a way back into this game. haven't managed to find anything to add to that early goal they got on the scoreboard. Philadelphia with some excellent recent results against New York RB in the first match after the major tournament. But here comes Pinto down the left hand side as Suarez and Messi trying to get themselves in towards the box, but a good block over on the far side, and Philadelphia can clear. They also had a 1-0 win against Seattle before being 2-0 down against Atlanta before that Alado's 97 minute winner in that game. They did lose then Cruz Azul before beating Necaxa 3-1. A Hariel goal and assist. Damiani and Sullivan also scoring in that game. Then they lost to Santos Laguna before returning and getting that fourth league win in a row. And then long range effort comes in from Philadelphia, but it's high, wide, and it's not very handsome from Pierre, who's set his sights on goal. And it went flying over the top of the bar. He laid it, apologies in towards Jacques, who had the strike. A couple of games on the road coming up next. Philadelphia against Austin in 3 days' time, and then against New York RB the Saturday after, before they welcome the Canadians Montreal. We're into Miami. They've got 2 trips as well against Toronto and Montreal, back-to-back Canadian sides that they will face, and then they've got Atlanta as well the following week after at the start of September. Free kick inside the centre circle goes Miami's way. Messi just drawing the foul. Moves it across quickly towards the left hand side in towards Suarez, and he leaves it all the way through towards Messi, and it looked like Segovia tried to do that as well. We just didn't quite sit with the little Argentinian. Good defending in the end from Philadelphia, who get it towards the halfway line. Picked up by Bright. Just sends it 10 yards forward. The midfield left to be desired as Casemiro can't quite find the pass in towards Segovia, who's making his way down the middle of the park, trying to latch onto it on the end of the Philadelphia penalty area. And you can see the ground is a multi-purpose ground here that he's being used. There's patches on the pitch that have been replaced. There's circles all over. I think it is lacrosse that it is used for, where they have a little bit of a higher pitch, a smaller patch. But you can certainly see where the goals tend to be on this surface. And it is what happens when you have a grass surface on a football pitch. That grass surfaces are always better than those artificial ones that you see that have those little rubber balls. You come off it and you feel like you've been playing on a beach. As Messi tries to send it forward as a handball goes against Hariel, and he spent all his time trying to appeal for that Lionel Messi, and then he spends his time waving a fake yellow card at the referee. And we saw that against Nashville, where he got a yellow card for doing the exact same thing and refused to stop protesting. And I think it's just a little bit unsportsmanlike from Messi to try and ask for it on that occasion. His arms were down by his side. It's like he's back in the summer tournament when plenty of the decisions went his way. All he had to do was ask a referee to give him a decision in the summer, and he tended to get the decision his way. And then that final came along. Can you tell I'm a bitter Englishman about that semi-final? Absolutely, always will be. But then the final made up for it from Spain on that occasion, as here come Miami again down the left-hand side, striding forward is Pinto, who's had an excellent first half and just can't quite get the pass through, but has won a corner kick on the far side of the pitch. It was good running side by side with Westfield, who didn't quite give him any room to find the ball across, but Pinto just kept driving towards the byline. And then across came Westfield to just get that last-ditch tackle in to push it out towards a corner kick. Messi will make his way across towards the far side for an out-swinging corner kick. Casemiro makes his way in towards the box and now makes the run towards the near post. It goes in towards Casemiro and towards Pinto, but it's headed out nicely by Philadelphia. 4 minutes plus stoppage time inside this first half. It's not quite the 4-4 from the first half. The last time these two sides met back in May, but it has been an interesting first 45 minutes, to say the least. Miami still leading by 2-1. Listening to an unofficial off-tube commentary of this American League game. It's a sweeping ball towards the centre circle, in towards Bright. It goes underneath his foot, but there's nobody putting him under any real pressure. He can do it towards Frey. Back in towards Bright. Lays it back towards Lujan on the halfway line. Casemiro now playing 10 yards further forward, finds the pass. His pass, though, is loose as it's picked up by Xhaka. Sends it down the right-hand side, looking for Ilioska. Superb defending from Falcon, and equally by St Clair, who came racing out of his box, just put it out and into the stands over on the far side of the pitch. But Falcon using that strength that he's got to just stop Ilioski from getting anywhere near it. It's back with Messi, who's going to win a free kick on the edge of the area. It looked like he was going to be allowed to continue inside the box. He kept hold of the ball. Messi's asking for a booking again against Wagner, and I think the referee on this occasion is going to oblige. He just kept on driving towards the box. It was Wagner who just came in, gave him a little bit of a shove. Messi still had the ball by his feet. He tried to get up and play on that occasion, Lionel Messi, but the referee had already blown his whistle and pulled it back for a free kick. And Wagner taking the brunt of that, and now Blake is trying to line his wall up, but what a superb position. This is right on the edge of the D, couple of yards off the edge of the penalty area, just towards the right-hand side of centre. Wagner is the first to go into Filip Duhic's book. And with 2 minutes left of this first half, it offers a real opportunity for Lionel Messi to have a go for goal here. Pinter's also standing over it. Messi's just asking them to get away from it. There's 4 in the wall, 5. Now is anyone going to lie behind it? Something we have seen over the last couple of seasons, despite the fact that we haven't seen too many goals actually go in from underneath the wall. But Lionel Messi, he's been in this position many, many times. Casemiro and Pinter also in the wall. There's also 2 stood behind them. Wagner is one of them. It's a de facto 8-man wall. Messi stands over it, straight in towards the wall the first time. Suarez can't quite get there, and it's going to be cleared out by Xhaka, who moves away to the far side, and Suarez just stops chasing him. Pinter, though, doesn't give up the rest, and he wins the ball back in towards Casemiro. Lazy pass to him towards the left-hand side, but gets lucky as Pinter has plenty of energy inside this Miami team. The 19-year-old doing the majority of the running inside that final third for those in black. With 60 seconds left to play, Miami disappointed really with that free kick. Messi tried to play it towards the left-hand side of the main wall, but it came off the wall of Wagner. And Sullivan on the left-hand side, playing forward towards the left-hand corner of the area and towards Segovia. Pulls it back towards Suarez, but well read like a book by Pierre, who comes away with the ball and tries to send it through the middle. This time, Ilioski and Damiani held on to his run. Just a little bit too much on that occasion from Damiani as it goes all the way back towards St Clair in the goal. Starts the attack quickly down the left-hand side. Charlotte still leading by 2-1 against Toronto. Orlando City losing at home against Chicago Fire by 1-0. New York RB and Nashville is 0-0. 4 minutes have been added on in stoppage time here. Cincinnati and New York City is 1-1. New England Revolution lead on the road against DC United by 0-0. And Columbus Crew leading by 0-0. Drawing 1-1 with Montreal in the last of these early kickoffs this evening, with the majority Canadian and East Coast sides. As Frey with the ball down the right hand side, tries to send it in early towards the edge of the penalty area again, looking towards Messi, this time lurking more centrally. Can't quite find the pass, and Philadelphia will come away with the ball with Wagner down the left hand side. Plays it more centrally as they try and move it across towards the right with Ilioski. He starts driving forward after he takes on Bright, but tries to a little bit too much, and Casemiro will just come forward, pick off the ball, and start his own attack down the middle of the park, in towards Messi. Poor pass first time, then his excellent pass in towards Suarez, who's just about kept himself onside. Hasn't quite got the legs he once used to have, and in doing so it allowed Philadelphia to get themselves back in numbers and stop the cross. Then Lionel Messi commits a foul, and if there's any point the referee probably should have given a yellow card, it probably is to Messi for coming in late and behind on the Philadelphia man, but the referee not going to give anything there, as he just came in a little late on Harry Yellow's second goal for New England Revolution on the road against DC United. They doubled their advantage just before the stroke of half-time in the capital. Wagner striding forward down this near left-hand side in towards the Miami half unchallenged. Plays it forward in towards Jean-Jacques. Got one for company, and the overlap comes in from Wagner. Just holds on to it, Jean-Jacques. He probably needs to go down that left again. Plays it more centrally, now tries to look again towards the left. But Bueno, who initially said move it across in towards Wagner, finally does find the pass. Brings it back again in towards Bueno. 15 yards, level with the edge of the penalty area in this near left-hand side. Down towards Sullivan on the left-hand channel. Can't quite get the first time crossing, but it comes out for a corner kick in the end. And an opportunity halfway inside the stoppage time here of the first half for Philadelphia to try and find a leveller, and Wagner will come across to take it. It was good work, it was methodical, patient play from Philadelphia, trying to go from back to front down the left hand side. I had a bit of criticism of Jacques just not trying to find the pass of Wagner going forward. Instead he put it back in towards Bueno, but that patient play just opened up the space for Sullivan to win the corner. Wagner sends the ball in towards the area, and it comes off a Philadelphia player. It's gone quite high inside the box. Then Suarez underneath it will just send it sky high, but only as far as the edge of the area. And then a shot comes in from the edge of the box from Milowski, and it just bounces kindly and out for a goal kick a couple of yards right of the Miami goal, and nothing really for Sinclair to worry himself about. He's in the right place. Was the Canadian goalkeeper, as the first half started all Philadelphia. A short patch for Miami. A spell of 5 minutes has turned this game on its head by half-time. And it's Miami who are likely going to go into half-time with the lead, unless there's something that can happen in the last 30 seconds or so. It's in the middle with Bright inside the centre circle, who will draw the foul off Jean-Jacques, and has a wry smile on his face there. Yannick Bright, the 24-year-old Italian, he was a 2026 All-Star midfielder. He's a high-volume ball winner. He provides plenty of balance around Casemiro and De Paul, usually having to do it without the latter on this occasion. But he's controlling that game there in the midfield, and winning his side of free kicks. Segovia down the left-hand side just gives away the ball, and then the free kick. Jacques on this occasion gets back and does the defensive work, and that will be half-time in what has been a wonderful first half between these two sides. It could really have gone either way. Philadelphia started the better, and they started brightly too. Vasilev getting on the end of a wonderful cross from Westfield from the right-hand side, completely unmarked inside the box, inside the opening 10 minutes to give Philadelphia an early lead. They could have found a second with strikes from the edge of the area, and then a header from Pierre inside the box as well that was cleared off the line by Regulion. Sent through was Damiani, who kept himself onside. The keeper, Sinclair, put up a wonderful save, and then moments later Messi found the ball, picked out Suarez on the left-hand side of the box, whose header split the defence and the goalkeeper, and it landed on a plate for Pinter to just tuck it in at the far post from a couple of yards out to level the game. 5 minutes later, and it was 2-1 to Inter Miami. The turnaround was complete. It was an excellent ball from Segovia in towards Suarez. His return pass was a little bit loose, and the foul came in. The referee played advantage. Frey picked up the ball on the edge of the box. He just tucked it in towards Messi on the right-hand side, brought it back onto his trusty left, and then he just dinked it into the bottom right-hand corner of Blake's goal to give Miami the advantage. The rest of the half was end-to-end between both sides, neither having any real chances. But the second half is set up beautifully. It's Philadelphia 1, Inter Miami 2. Welcome back all to the second half from Chester, Pennsylvania, where it's Philadelphia 1, Inter Miami 2. At half time, we're almost about to get ourselves underway for the second 45-minute period. Those in white still have plenty of questions to knock at the door of those in black. What can this second half muster up? I'll run you through the teams. It doesn't appear that either side has blinked at half time just yet. Philadelphia will want to get themselves back into the ascendancy and ask a couple of questions of the Miami defence inside the next 45 minutes. They had plenty of possession inside the opening 20 minutes before it all started to go wrong. But there will be more opportunities in this second half for those in black who do take their time to come out of the pitch. They're just waiting to make their way out. Messi, the last of the stragglers to come out of the box. The team does like to wait as Messi and Suarez are just having a friendly chat on their way out. Apologies, just having a half-time coffee going down the wrong way there, but here come Inter Miami once more. Messi and Suarez side by side as they have through the majority of their careers, especially at Barcelona and also at PSG. There is some but just at Barcelona, there is some rumours though that former PSG man Neymar may be making the trip over in January to join alongside Messi and Suarez to link up that old trio. But the referee is happy. Miami back on the pitch and we get the game back underway. It's the second half. It's just gone 13 minutes to 9 local time here. 17 minutes later. And we should kick off the second half. But it's those in black getting underway. No changes into either side at half-time here in Philadelphia. So Blake is in goal. Westfield, Pierre, Hariel and Wagner are the back four. Wagner on a yellow card, the German, from a first-half booking. Sullivan, Jean-Jacques Bueno and Vasilev are the midfield four, with Oski and Damiani, who had a gilded chance inside the first half, leading the line for the Union. For Miami, St. Clair, the man in the goal. Frey, Lujan, Falcon and Regulion appear to be what is now a back four. Bright, Casemiro and Segovia, the midfield three, with Bright and Segovia roaming really between either side, with Messi, Suarez and Pinta, the three up front for the away side. Plenty of choices as well on the bench for Philadelphia. They've got Serey, Bedoya, Raffaellano, Bender, Alado, Agnello, Quinn Sullivan, Jakupovic and Andrew Rick as well, the young 20-year-old backup goalkeeper. And for Miami, they've got Murat, Caicedo, Ayala, Allen, Rios Novo, the backup goalkeeper, Argentinian, David Ruiz, Denis Loire, the 21-year-old Haitian who signed just 5 days ago, could get his first start for the side after being promoted from the Miami 2 side. Planbeck and Alexander Shaw, two other youngsters who have come up through the ranks here as homegrown talents. But over on the right-hand side, Bright trying to stride his way forward, but good defending goes back towards the goalkeeper of Blake, who's taken out, and the free kick goes the way of Philadelphia as Blake just lies on the ground inside his box away towards the left-hand side. I'll keep straight with all the other scores as well. Yusuf was the man who got the second for New England Revolution just before half-time as they lead 2-0 on the road against DC United as they kicked off just a couple of minutes before this game did. As did Columbus Crew and Montreal, which was 1-1. Cincinnati, New York City is the same scoreline. New York RB and Nashville 0-0 5 minutes into the second half there. Charlotte leading by 2-1 away at Toronto. And in the games that kicked off at varying times, Sporting Kansas which is 24 minutes into that game, and St. Louis City is 0-0, and Minnesota and Atlanta, kicked off 10 minutes ago, is 0-0 as well. Plenty of games then underway. There'll be a couple more before this game finishes at just about start later on. Colorado, LAFC, Real Salt Lake, Dallas, and Seattle Sounders, Austin FC. So there's anything in those games before we do wrap up here. We've got plenty of time for that to happen. Only 3.5 minutes gone inside the second half here in Philadelphia. The away side leading by 2-1 with a 64% probability of going on to win the game. Although there's an avid football fan and a man that supported a lot of lower league sides, particularly well the same side of Rotherham United in the English football division, now the 4th tier. Probability doesn't really come into a lot of games a lot of the time, depending. It can swing so quickly in a matter of seconds, but a ball swung from the right-hand side, looking towards Regulion on the left-hand side, picked off inside the area, and he could really have just gone for goal himself. He tried to be unselfish, looking towards Suarez. Suarez once again with a touch like a brick wall. Couldn't quite find the pass. He was furious at Regulion, but I'm pretty sure it was Suarez's fault, not Regulion's. It's taken quickly again on this near side, but the referee trying to bring back the free kick for Philadelphia. Sullivan continued down the right-hand side on the counter-attack, but Regulion up the other end going into the referee's book for a late challenge. There was a quick counter-attack from the ball down the right-hand side. Sullivan did beautifully just to skip past the challenge of Casemiro and then drove towards the box, and then getting himself back. Regulion looking a little bit tired trying to chase them back there. Just takes him out and goes into the referee's book for the first yellow card of this second half, but a good opportunity for Philadelphia here. It's about 10 to 15 yards outside the penalty area, a little bit towards the right-hand side. There's going to be 3 into the wall. It may just be a little bit too far out to try and shoot here. So they may just try and put the ball in towards the box. Wagner is stood over it, as is Vasilev. And so away goes Sullivan, who won the free kick. Also around it is Iloski. Moving away from it is Westfield, who got that assist inside the first half with a delightful ball in towards the man who's also just moved away of Vallis. Casemiro. Segovia and Bright standing the wall. It goes short and then long range effort comes in, and it's inches wide of the left hand post of St. Clair from Wagner. A well worked free kick from Wagner on the edge of the area, just laid off by Iloski towards the left hand side to open up the angle around the wall, and he tried to go for that near post. St. Clair was scrambling across his goal line, and inches wide from the left back, almost restoring Philadelphia back on level terms in this game. It was hit like a thunderbolt, but it couldn't quite strike lightning for Philadelphia on that occasion. Good work for those in white down the left hand side, going from left to right in this second half, and therefore you will have surmised Miami are going from right to left in that all black strip with a bit of pink trim in the second half. Sullivan with the cushioned header on the right hand channel. It's played back to him by Westfield. Keeps driving down the left hand side of Sullivan, plays in towards the area. Man goes down, and Iloski comes back out, and then the block goes in the first time. Still on the edge of the box for the home side. Can't quite scramble it from Vasilev towards the left. It's a second ball. Still in possession of Philadelphia. Whip back across the 6-yard box, but it's met well by Regulion, and out for a throw-in deep inside Miami territory. Just about comes off the corner flag to go for a throw-in rather than a corner kick, but Philadelphia just trying to apply a little bit of pressure away to our right-hand side. It started with Sullivan with the ball in towards the box. There was a couple of challenges that did go in. Miami seemed to deal with them on every single occasion. Regulion got lost for a moment from the Sullivan dart down the right-hand side. Going down was Damiani, questionable from Falcon, the challenge. He had a few wry smiles after coming on against Nashville, which were quickly wiped away by the home side on that occasion. It was picked up by Xhaka, who went for goal. It was blocked again. Although the referee, I think, is having a He's just stopping play for a moment while this is being looked at. So there is a penalty check being looked at here for Philadelphia. Whether it's the initial challenge on Damiani inside the box or whether a potential handball from the follow-up strike from Jaquez. Either way, the referee has waved it away. And the throw-in will be taken from Philadelphia. It's going to be taken about 18, 15 yards away from where it actually went out from Wagner. It hit the corner flag and just about went out, but Wagner's going to take it from level with the edge of the penalty area, level with the penalty spot as it is now. Sends it in towards the 6-yard box, dealt with by Casemiro, then the follow-up over on the far side, dealt with by Frey. Whip back in once more, Segovia gets on the end of it, but Jaquez, 20 yards outside the box, sends it forward once more. Sullivan whipped the ball in, and then diving across a little bit enthusiastically was St. Clair there. One for the cameras as he got nowhere near the ball. And it was on a handball inside the box from Segovia. He was down on the ground as the shot came in. It bounced off Falcon's knee. And Segovia was there. He couldn't really do anything about that. So I think VAR with Pierre-Luc Louzier and David Barney got that decision right. It's still with Philadelphia starting the second half the way they started the first half, just trying to apply some pressure on this Miami side. 10 minutes gone inside the second half. They scored at that moment in the first half. Can they do so again in the second as a whip ball comes from the left hand side and is cleared out by Miami, but the referee's going to give a free kick as Frey just left the boot in on Wagner down the channel, and then his protestations find himself in the referee's book again. In the 23-year-old American, another one of the homegrown defenders whose career has survived major knee setbacks. He started against Nashville, remains an important option as well at the back. But his challenge was a sliding tackle, just trying to stop the cross on Wagner. I'm not too sure how much he's actually got on Wagner. I don't think the referee has got that initial challenge right, but the protestations and the way that Frey reacted to the referee giving the free kick has certainly warranted a yellow card from the man in the middle, Filip Dužić. It's about 4 or 5 yards off the byline on the left-hand side of the penalty area, about a yard off the penalty area itself. It was inches away from being a penalty as Guillermo Hoyos on this near side just has his hands to his head as he watches on from the near side. There's not a lot he can do at the moment. Neither can Richter, the former Union player. Frey went in with that slide tackle, and I think that is potentially what is being checked here by VAR as well. Said it was inches, but on the replay, he's got his... It looks like Wagner's whipped the ball in with his left boot from outside the box, but the challenge may well have been just inside the area in the space of 2 minutes. We are having a check about whether it's going to be a penalty to Philadelphia. I think on this occasion it's certainly got a little bit more validity than the last one. Messi stood around the referee. The challenge is inside the box, but it's whether there's actually any contact at all. So the referee has awarded it and says it is a free kick, but I think the decision there is whether it's a penalty or whether it's no foul at all, and I think they've just come to the conclusion that it wasn't a penalty, and therefore we're just going to have to give a free kick anyway because it's been given. It can't be overturned, but it's gone straight in, and Philadelphia are level. The Union are unleashed, and from one league win, the Philly fight. They have the fire, and they find a way again. From 2 goals down against Atlanta, 2 goals down against York, against New York, and now they've dragged themselves back into this one as well. Miami protest once more from the free kick. They think something's gone on inside the penalty area. It's taken a little deflection on the way through, I think, from Pierre, from the free kick. They're saying that Harriel impeded the goalkeeper St Clair, but both of them looked onside to me more than anything. There's nothing St Clair could have done with that header, regardless if Harriel was there. The scoreboard says 2-2. I think he's been kept onside anyway. This one might be checked as well. It was a beautiful ball from the far side around the wall. It came out of absolutely nowhere. Casemiro and Messi shake their head inside the middle of the park. They can't believe the decision that's gone there against them this occasion. But just like the first half, Philadelphia have started the second half with excellent form. Jacques was a man stood in an offside position initially. There might be a check it on Pierre to see if he was offside. Harriel certainly was when Pierre got the header in, but that won't matter. The goalkeeper would have got absolutely nowhere near it in the goal stands. It's 2-2, and what a game we have on here. Just like back in May, the goals are flowing. And it's Pierre from a free kick. It could well have been given as a penalty. It looked just inside the box as Casemiro goes in late on Jacques as well, who's on the ground. And Philadelphia are asking for something serious from this as well. It could go from bad to worse for Miami. But the free kick moments ago was absolutely delightful from the far side. It caught Miami completely off guard as Charlotte have a 2-goal lead against Toronto. They lead 3-1 on the road there. As another free kick goes Philadelphia's way, this time from distance. Wagner halfway inside the Miami half, 10 yards off the byline. A couple of runners tried to go short. Wagner instead will whip it towards the far side of the box. It's come back down again, knocked down and then tucked away. And Philadelphia have turned this game on its head inside 2 minutes. And Ilosky, from provider to goal scorer, has restored Philadelphia's lead out of absolutely nowhere. It's Philadelphia 3, Miami 2, and 2 free kicks in the space of 2 minutes has turned this game right around. And it's chaos in Chester. The comeback kings are doing it again. And Ilosky at the far post off the underside of the bar. And Philadelphia lead at home once more. They're going for 5 in a row under Richter. And these games between these two sides always tend to have goals, and they're getting more and more and more. It's Philadelphia 3. Miami 2, but there may be a check here. And there could well be an offside. It does look like on this occasion Pierre may have just strayed a couple of inches offside from the ball in. He didn't need to. He rose high as he forced St Clair into a save. Suarez turned his back on the ball. Ilosky went towards it instead and just dinked it off the underside of the bar to give Philadelphia another lead, but it looks like it will be ruled out. The referee coming across to have a little look at this. I think he's actually having a look for a potential foul in the mix here, and I'm not too sure. In fact, he's looking for a potential card. Ilosky put the ball in the back of the net, and the referee is going to have to make a decision here. And it is going to be ruled out. Pierre was in an offside position. From delirium to devastation for Philadelphia. And it's the man who brought them level, strayed an inch or so offside. The referee came to the monitor to have a look at it. Absolute chaos happening on this pitch. It's still Philadelphia 2, Miami 2. Philadelphia going forward, and it's getting a little bit feisty as well in the middle of the park, and it's just the game we want to see. You're listening to an unofficial off-tube commentary of this game here in Chester, Pennsylvania. Neil Pierre who doesn't score too many goals in his career. It was his third goal in 6 games. Since joining Philadelphia. Since he returned from a loan spell with Lyngby Bold Club, where he got 2 goals in 9 games as well. But in the league, I said he doesn't score too many in terms of the numbers, but he certainly gets himself about. And the young 18-year-old, he's 6'5", and he's using all of that and almost giving him his side the advantage again with a knockdown which St Clair saved back into Iloscu, tucked it away. But then the linesman, VAR and the referee ruling it out for offside. Corner kick's going to come in on this near side from Philadelphia. 25 minutes to go in this contest as Wagner stands over it. Neither side yet to make a sub as the referee comes in and now has a couple of words with players inside the 6-yard box. It's a little bit of pushing and shoving and a little bit of gamesmanship going on inside the box as well, as Bright goes down holding his stomach to try and draw a decision out of the referee. Damiani was the man. Who the referee needed to make a decision about, and he has a little word with both of them and essentially says get over it and get on with it, as is the correct decision to do, as New England Revolution have a third against DC United in that contest. There as Wagner puts the ball in towards the box. Pierre is there again, and it's just being begged to be poked in from Sullivan inside the 6-yard box, but he just wasn't on his toes enough to get on to the end of that one. But Pierre is causing a world of trouble now in this second half inside that Miami penalty area away to our right. Just like the first half, they couldn't get out the half inside the opening 20 minutes of the periods. Lazy from those in black, and they're being punished for it inside this second half, and they've got away with it. The fact that they aren't behind just yet. Sullivan dancing and moving it towards the right-hand side. Pulls it back towards the right again for a cross to come in from Wagner, and it comes back off again. From Westford, it comes back off again from Falcon and out for another corner kick. But Sullivan just chinking and manoeuvring his way towards the right-hand side. Feeds it in towards Westfield, who tried to return it back in towards Sullivan. This time he was on his toes inside the box. But good defending on that occasion from Miami to play it out for a corner kick. 2-2 is the scoreline here. Chance to put it in again from Wagner, Union's all-time assist leader. Whipped in towards the far side, and that's a brilliant ball in towards the box, but there's nobody there to meet it. Pierre this time peeled himself and pulled back a little bit, and there will be the first change for either side, as the man who scored the first goal for Philadelphia will make his way off. Just to make things a little bit more awkward for a commentator, Quinn Sullivan will make his way on. It's the two Sullivans, Cavan and Quinn, are now both on the pitch together. Quinn Sullivan, the 22-year-old American, Cavan's older brother. He returned in July after 298 days out with an ACL injury. He supplied the assist for Damiani's winner against New York City FC, and how he would love to link up in this one as well. Vasilev, the former Aston Villa man, is the first to depart for either side. In the other scores, it's still Columbus Crew 1, Montreal 1 with 19 minutes to go. New England have all but wrapped it up 3-0. They lead against DC United. Cincinnati, New York City, nothing to separate them, 1-1. Nothing to separate New York RB and Nashville as well, 0-0. As it's played down the right side, it was Pinter, and a fine save from Black to force it out for a throw-in. Good work just from Lionel Messi just to peel it in through the back of Philadelphia, and it's just what he can do. Miami can have 23 minutes inside their own half and then give the ball to Messi, and he'll just find that one pass that just opens up the back. And Pinter was through with a superb save to match it from Blake, the Jamaican goalkeeper. Although I think he may have just strayed offside. The keeper wasn't to know that. He keeps his side in it as a free kick goes Philadelphia's way, halfway inside their own half, close to the far side of the pitch. The other scores on the doors, with Charlotte leading 3-1 on the road to Toronto. Sporting Kansas St. Louis City are coming up to half-time there in the 46th minute of the first half there. It's 0-0, and it's also 0-0 32 minutes into the first half between Minnesota and Atlanta as well. This game certainly has been the pick of the bunch this evening with 20 minutes still to play. It's a game that certainly feels like it has more goals in it. Philadelphia have come back on plenty of occasions this season. They're doing it again today. Can they find a winner? And as it stands in the league, Inter Miami still sitting 5 points off Nashville at the top, but it opens the door for Vancouver Whitecaps, who are 2 points below them in the overall standings. They have 2 games in hand do the Whitecaps, with a better goal difference as well. So they could close the gap to Inter Miami. With a win, they could go above them in one of those 2 games. And if they win both of them as it stands, they could go just a point off Nashville at the top of the pile, but they also lead the west side of things as well. Opportunity here for Philadelphia down the left hand side, opens up, superb save, still chance, and it's not tucked away. What a block that is from Regulion to deny Damiani, who's had a couple of chances in this game. They found themselves behind the back line once more on the left hand side. It was left by Iloski in towards Sullivan. He fed it back in towards Iloski, who tried to go for the far corner. St. Clair stuck out a big left hand. And then Damiani trying to recover it with the keeper nowhere to be seen. Blocked by Regulion on the line to keep his side on level terms. It was good play from the home side, great defending in the end from Miami. They were unlocked for a very brief moment before they closed the door once again on the 2 front men. But Philadelphia, as it stands, they would still be near the bottom of the pack, 25th out of the 30 of teams on 20 points. If they find another goal, they could move up into 22nd position. But they're just 6 points off the top 15. The top 16 apologies is where they need to be. As Regulion, the man that's just put in that block, has made his way off, as had Segovia. So 2 changes on that left-hand side with Allen and Ayala making their way on for the away team. Ayala, the 22-year-old American defender. The 24-year-old Argentinian midfielder. Allen, the 22-year-old American defender. makes his way on. Another academy graduate who debuted for the first team back in 2022, Allen. One of Miami's longest serving current homegrown players. Ayala will move into the midfield in place of Segovia, the 24-year-old Argentinian, one of 5 Argentinians in the Miami side. Paul normally makes it a 6th that they tend to have on a regular basis. But the left-footed holding midfielder required from Portland, former Argentinian under-20 international, gives Hoyos another specialist defensive midfield option should he need it. As Casemiro has the ball halfway inside his own half, plays in towards Bright in that central role. Looks towards the far side of the pitch. St. Louis City scored against Sporting Kansas just before the half-time whistle. In the 2nd minute of added time, Lowen with the goal there to give the away side the advantage at the break. 16 minutes to go plus stoppage time here in this game. Now Miami trying to get themselves into the ascendancy inside this second half. The 2025 regular season Shield winners drawing at home against the 2025 league champions. The trajectories for the season could hardly be any different for these two sides. But how that could all change in the space of a few days and a few wins for Philadelphia. And back-to-back defeats could really open up avenues of discontent in the southeastern side of Miami. A throw for Philadelphia, who've had 16 shots to 4 in their favour. The ball down the left-hand side goes in towards the box, but there's no one there. Philadelphia on that occasion, it's straight at the goalkeeper, St. Clair, inside his penalty area. Philadelphia continue to try and turn that extraordinary form that they've had as Toronto pulled one back against Charlotte to squeak the bombs a little bit. It's 3-2 to the away side north of the border. How one of these two sides would love to go 3-2 ahead in this game, and it's Miami with Casemiro off the edge of the penalty area. Lays it towards Lionel Messi, who goes down on the edge of the box. How much was left on him by Wagner, who's already gone into the referee's book inside the first half as Atlanta has scored against Minnesota 1-0 on the road there. But Messi just dropped himself to the deck there. Casemiro fed it to him. He turned onto his right, past Wagner. I don't think there's too much of a challenge there. And the Philadelphia fans, who are quite a passionate bunch, they tend to have, I was going to say fun, but they tend to cause chaos, is probably the best way to put it, whether their side wins or loses major competitions. We've seen it in American football, we've seen it in the baseball and the hockey as well. Although, forgive me, my hockey knowledge isn't as good as baseball knowledge and American football. Into those sports because of a TV show, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which I hope doesn't represent a lot of people from Philadelphia. Have been, I certainly don't think it does. As Lionel Messi stands over this free kick, he went into the wall the first time and he goes into the wall again on this occasion, falls back out to him, was back towards Falcon 10 yards further back, plays level to the left hand side in towards the substitute Allen. His pass though is a poor one, looking in towards the middle, and Philadelphia clear it towards the halfway line. Sullivan wins the ball back, and then the referee draws a free kick after he just gives Falcon a little bit of push in the back, and the big man duly obliges and hits the deck. Pass towards Messi is intercepted by those in white. Lovely turn on the halfway line, feeding it towards the left hand side. Chance here for Philadelphia, but getting back is Lujan in towards Sullivan, and it's just wide of the left hand post. Great work again from Philadelphia, this time on the counter-attack. The pass in towards Messi was a poor one. It was laid in towards the middle. A superb turn from Ilowski down the left-hand side, in towards Kayvan Sullivan. And on the first time effort, puts it a yard or so wide of the left-hand upright of St. Clair's goal. And how many more chances do Philadelphia need to try and test the keeper a little bit more than they have already? Philly can make it 5 straight wins to win it just once before the summer competition. Ryan Richter hoping he can go 5-0 as well in the league. Iloski, who scored 3 in Miami in May. Suarez scored 3 at Philadelphia in the same 10-goal match. Both have been remarkably quiet on this occasion, but the rest of the sides have certainly been up for him. Kayvan Sullivan, the 16-year-old, is showing his age. He's certainly not showing his age. He has been rather remarkable. He certainly looks older than his age certainly suggests. He plays that way as well. 10 minutes to go, plus any time added on. I'll keep you up to date with any scores that go on now in the last couple of minutes as Montreal have taken the lead against Columbus Crew. They lead by 2-1. There's a long rangey ball towards the left hand side, picked up inside the box by Alala, who tries to cut it back in towards the area again, but out comes Blake inside his box. It was Stret, the man who gave Montreal the lead once again in that game there. As he's played towards the halfway line, Blake and Falcon just pulling him on the back of the shirt of Damiani, and the referee obliges with the free kick. Philadelphia tried to get on with it quickly and move it towards the left-hand side. They rise highest in Wagner, but it comes off the back of Frey and out for a throw-in, and they'll just progress themselves up the pitch now down the left-hand side. Back in towards Pierre, tries a little flick over the top and just can't quite find the pass in towards Iloski, instead finding it in towards the goalkeeper, St. Clair. Time drifting away for both of these two sides as Messi and Pierre have a little coming together over on the far side of the pitch. Both back towards the feet, but Messi comes away with the ball. Has an opportunity to put it into the box towards the far side. It's a lovely ball. Looking for a runner coming in. Ayala was there, but he was a couple of yards just behind it. And in the days of Barcelona and PSG, that might have found someone that had a little bit more space in the area that matters. But Messi did ever so well down the right-hand side against Pierre, who's had an excellent game. They had a coming together. They both just got on with it, continued the battle. Messi picked up the ball, pulled it back onto the right. Onto the right-hand side, onto his left. As Bueno makes his way off for Bedoya for the hosts for their second change of the evening as the 39-year-old long-time Union leader, former US international with 66 caps. He played at the 2014 tournament in Brazil for the national team, and he brings huge experience in a very young squad. They're coming again now down the left-hand side, looking to try and find a winner here. 2-2 is the scoreline with 8 minutes still to play. Can one of these two sides make the difference? Jesus Bueno, the man, the Venezuelan, it came off as the only change for Philadelphia before the start of this game, and he's the second substitute to make his way off the pitch. There's a long ball in towards Miami, for Messi going forward. He's ahead of the back line, trying to strive towards the area. He's got one for company, and excellent defending so far, and even better defending at the back, and then the linesman's flag goes up. But Harry L stuck with Lionel Messi like flies stick to you-know-what. It was a brilliant ball forward from Casemiro. Messi, to be fair, was 5-6 yards offside. Harry L tracked back, kept with him, didn't foul him. He got an initial blocking, initial footing on the first attempt, then he put a blocking on the cross. And until the linesman gets his flag up on the far side, you've got to play to the whistle. And that's what Harry L did there. Excellent defending. It wouldn't have mattered either way, but it was brilliant to watch nonetheless, as Philadelphia send it forward once more. Have an opportunity now for a throw-in over on the far side. They've been setting the tempo throughout this second half, and they're looking to try and find a way through. Dinked in towards Cavan Sullivan down the left-hand side. Push it towards the byline. Ball comes back in. Pierre can't quite get there. Opportunity on the follow-up, and then it takes a deflection and goes out, but the referee already blows for a free kick as Pierre came in a little bit strong on Falcon, who goes down holding his head just to waste a little bit of time inside the box. It was a lovely ball sent down that left channel, played back in, looking towards Pierre from Cavan Sullivan. Pierre missed the ball. He didn't intend to get onto the back of Falcon, but he was almost riding his back by the time he came down. And there's not much rodeo in the north of the country. Well, that almost didn't stop Pierre riding Falcon like a bull. You'll have to forgive me. What is a bull rider called? Is it just a bull rider? A matador is something different, I think. Do correct me. Write in on a postcard. I won't tell you where to write to, just in case. But it's still 2-2 here. 5 minutes of normal time to go. There was 4 minutes added on at the end of the first half. The little push goes in on this near side into the Philadelphia man from Pinter, who just stood his ground. Philadelphia have the throw-in. But Pinter certainly went in hard to try and win the ball back. As it stays 2-2 here. Still 3-2 in the game between Charlotte and Toronto. 3 minutes to play there. New York RB in Nashville. 2 minutes to go there. 0-0. 3 minutes between Cincinnati, New York City. 1-1. New England Revolutions have already won against DC United with 2 minutes to play. They lead by 3 goals to 0. Montreal lead by 2-1 against Columbus Crew. As Philadelphia again trying to find a winner down the left-hand side inside the box, but they're going to give away another free kick. Jean-Jacques, who's had to come in together with Falcon once again, who certainly knows how to win a free kick against the referee, and that's something I would love to see just taken out of football entirely. It's the benefit that goes defenders' way when a slightest touch, especially when they get themselves between man and ball, and an attacker comes and just lays a slight fingernail on them, and the big defenders just go down. And lovely little dummy run by Ierlowski, just trying to dummy himself, and then he throws Falcon to the ground. And Ierlowski goes into the referee's book for reacting to Falcon. And if there's one player you don't want to react to, who'll make the most of it, it is Falcon. The big Uruguayan defender. He's a combative centre-back. He was throwing his arms up, getting in the face of Ierlowski, and Ierlowski just gives him a slight shove. And in doing so, Falcon hits the deck like a WWE wrestler. Just taking a bump. But Ierlowski is the man that got baited into it, and he's found his way into the referee's book. And the free kick then goes Miami's way as well. Suarez deep inside his own half. Sends it towards Lujan on the right-hand side. Miami just haven't been in the race in this second half. If they can find a winner in this game, then they will certainly feel like they've got away with one to steal it. But it is still with Philadelphia, with Cavan Sullivan, who goes down 15 yards off the edge of the area, and a free kick goes Philadelphia's way once again. And the pressure is continuing to mount on the Miami goal. Guillermo Hoyos on this near side has his hands on his knees now, from his head to his knees. How far till he starts to get to his toes? He did miss his shoulders though. Apologies, there's no need for me to go through that. But a real opportunity here. Ierlowski, Wagner and Cavan Sullivan all stand over this one. Miami trying to organise their wall with Suarez, the experienced man, trying to take heed from his goalkeeper. Toronto have turned the game against Charlotte on its head. It's 3-3 there from 3-1 down inside the last 10 minutes. There's still a chance for another one. Iloski and Wagner now stand over it. Wagner goes towards the edge of the area and it's cleared out really well by Casemiro, who's just read that one and plays it in on this near side. Side tackle goes down the one to Cavan Sullivan, who wins the thrown level with the 6-yard box, continuing to try and apply some pressure. He takes it quickly back towards Pierre. But he's back towards goal, though, and then loses out towards the ball. And now Inter Miami can try and counter-attack with Lionel Messi in the centre of the pitch. Excellent ball towards the right-hand side, in towards Pinto, who's going to try and look to get past Harriel. Being stood up really well, though, by the centre-half. He's had an excellent game. And forces Miami back towards the halfway line. In towards Bright. Switches play towards the left-hand side and towards the substitute, Allen. Lays across towards the edge of the box. Return pass comes back towards Allen. Whips the ball in towards the area, but there's nobody there on to it. And the man who actually got the header inside the box looks to be Jacques is down on the deck. And the referee is going to have to pull this one back. But it was Pierre who's down on the deck. He got the header. And there was nobody there around him. I think it's just hit him square in the face. That will mean there will be a stoppage in play here with 30 seconds to go plus time added on. Sporting Kansas St. Louis City back underway in the second half. Down in the Midwest. Cincinnati. They have potentially found a winner against New York City. 2-1 they lead in the 92nd minute. A late goal there for them, which could make their season a little bit better as they're trying to get themselves into the top 10 as well. Goals going in late on, and there's a huge goal at the top of the pile as well. 9 minutes have been added on at the end of this game. And if Inter Miami are aware, Nashville have scored. The checks have been done by phones inside the ground. It's the centre half, Warledzi, in the 92nd minute to give Nashville the 1-0 lead against New York RB. And what a moment that could be, as it stands as now a 7-point gap at the top of the pile. And Inter Miami now either need to find a goal or hope that New York find a goal themselves. We're already a minute into the 9. Miami on the attack with Suarez. Back towards Messi. Lovely ball towards the left-hand side. Just bounced a little bit too heavy for Pinto. Continues on its way through towards Casemiro. His first time ball in towards the box is dealt with and cleared back out towards Allen on this near side. Goes back towards Bright on the halfway line, who continues it back towards Falcon. In the middle towards Allen once again, and now Pinto. Miami must have heard what's gone on, because they are relentless now in their passage of play. In towards Frey. His ball down the right, though, looking towards Suarez's interception and cleared out for a throw-in. Over on the far side of the pitch, and that will just slow things down a little bit more, but Bright trying to shine a bit of light late on in this game to help Miami find a winner. Still 2-2 here. You're listening to an unofficial off-tube commentary. We're 2 minutes into 9 added on, as Philadelphia win the ball and send it forward. Takes the deflection on the way through, and the home side will get the throw in. Both sides want to win it. Both sides are trying to get on with the game as quickly as they can. Philadelphia know that their poor start to the season in the opening 16 games, where they won just one game, means that every single game requires them to be absolutely on it to take the points where they can find them. They've won the last 4 games in the league, trying to go for 5. They had a goal ruled out after Pierre just strayed offside. They've been the far better side in this second half. And in the game overall, but Miami scoring 2 of their 4 shots that they've had. New England Revolution have won by 3 goals still against DC United. Cincinnati have beaten New York City by 2 goals to 1 in the 2 games that have finished so far. I'll keep up to date with all the other scores that are going on late on across the league. It's still 2-2 here in what is a very, very nervy final 5 minutes of time added on. Nashville still lead by a goal to nil. That's in the 96th minute. We're in the 94th minute here. Falcon with a lovely little header back towards his keeper under pressure. Still 3-3 between Toronto and Charlotte, with the away side. We're leading by 3 goals to 1 at one point in that game. On this near side with Allen. And taken out is Falcon once again, and Alado, who's just made his way onto the pitch, apologies, has found himself into the referee's book. And Falcon will certainly play for that all day long when he can. Came on for Damiani, did Alado. He's now in the referee's book as well, the man who scored the 97th minute winner against Atlanta last time around in that 3-2 win. How they'd love to find another goal late on in this contest. We've got 4 minutes of time added on to play. It may even go a little bit longer than that. Suarez gets the game back underway. Inside the centre circle for the away side. Moved across to the left in towards Allen. Runner from Pinter goes forward. Decides to come back under pressure from Cavan Sullivan. Back into the Miami half with Casemiro. Moved across towards Falcon, now trying to move and drive forward down the left-hand side, but good high pressing from Philadelphia forces Miami further and further back, and they have to go all the way back towards the goalkeeper. Away to our right-hand side, and a few more games have finished, and one of those is Nashville, who have beaten New York Army by 1-0. Montreal have also finished against Columbus Crew, winning by 2-1, and as it stands, the gap between Nashville and Inter Miami has grown to 7 points in the space of 2 games. Miami could have gone ahead of them by a point with a win last time around. Instead, now they find themselves 7 points behind. They've got 3 minutes to try and close that gap back down to 5 points, but those fans in Nashville will be checking phones, will be watching, will be listening wherever they can as Philadelphia put a ball in towards the box, but the flick on by Iloski goes kindly through in towards the Canadian St. Clair inside his penalty area. The only the game that kicked off at the same time, still going, is Toronto and Charlotte, which is 3-3 as it stands at the moment. Drama went late on in that game. As Pinter goes down and wins a free kick, this time from Westfield. 2 minutes of stoppage time to play. Both sides trying to go for it. Both sides trying not to lose it at the same time. A point is not a bad result for either. A win is everything. A point really isn't the worst result. It's better than nothing. But they both know that 3 points is what they really need to be taking today with other results across the leagues. It's more important for Philadelphia to keep that unbeaten run against the side who have only lost 3 all season. They couldn't continue to win forever as Pinter is just receiving a bit of treatment to his back on the ground as Guillermo Hoyos is just pacing, and Ruiz will be the man that will make his way on. David Ruiz for The away side to come on for Pinto, the 22-year-old Honduran Miami-born Honduran international. Another academy graduate came through. Became the first Miami Academy product to score a first team goal in 2023. And he makes his way on for the final moments of this game. The long ball goes forward. Oh, it's a poor one from Miami, and it's out for a goal kick. We've got 30 seconds left of time added on here. I'm sure there'll be a little bit more added on top of that as well. Philadelphia passing around the edge of their own area. Got to go forward with it now. Liverpool, the games have just kicked off as well. Seattle Sounders and Austin, Real Salt Lake, Dallas and Colorado Rapids, LAFC, Minnesota, Atlanta is almost about to kick off the second half of the away side, leading by a goal still in Louis City. St. Louis City are beating Sporting Kansas 12 minutes into the second half by a goal to nil, and Toronto Charlotte in the 101st minute. He's 3-3 there. We're into the 100th minute of this contest in Pennsylvania. It's into Miami with a throw-in deep inside their own half, well down the line on this near side. They're trying to hack it towards the halfway line, but a bullet header going to get sent forward towards the edge of the area, looking towards Quinn Sullivan. Back out towards this near side. It's Philadelphia on the ball. Kayvan Sullivan with the ball, tries to feed it towards the left-hand side, but gives us sloppy ball in towards Lionel Messi, but excellent recovery work from Pierre. Tries to then find the pass towards the edge of the Miami box, but couldn't quite find the cutting edge as Sporting Kansas have equalised against St. Louis City 1-1 in that game. Toronto have drawn against Charlotte 3-3 from 3-1 down north of the border. They're continuing to go, 2 minutes added on top of the 9 into the 101st minute of this contest. It's played in towards Suarez, helps it on its way down the left-hand side, but good recovery work once again, this time on the near side by Ezequiel Alado. He did ever so well, just get there ahead of the substitute Ruiz and then just come back and flick it off him for a throw-in. The referee continues to play some time added on. A couple of players are questioning how long is still to go, but he's saying get on with it. Philadelphia attacking down the left-hand side. Pull back in towards the level with the edge of the penalty area, in towards the box. Is there another opportunity? Man goes down inside the area, half an appeal. And that's all it will be. And then there's a bit of a rugby tackle going in from Quinn Sullivan. And there's a little bit of handbags going off now. Bright's in there. As Kayvan Sullivan came in to support his brother as well. Frey was the man who got caught up in the fray. By name, by nature. But the Sullivan brothers helping each other out there. Falcon, of all people, being the man to calm down Kayvan Sullivan. Quinn Sullivan went down as he spun around. And then Frey, I'm not too sure what he was trying to do. He was trying to climb over the top of Quinn Sullivan, who took exception to it. Kayvan Sullivan was straight in there to support his brother. Bright was then pointing the finger. But it was Frey who needlessly tried to start it by climbing over the top of the Philadelphia player. And then it was all a little bit handbaggy, but we like to see that in football. We like to see passion in the game, but it does mean we're going to go later into this game. There's a few players protesting towards the referees. The referee has a conversation with his linesman on this near side. We're into the 13th minute now of time added on in this game. Lionel Messi is just walking with the referee as the referee says walk away. Blake's also there, the goalkeeper. The referee asking Messi to move back. Messi moves closer, and the referee really needs to start pulling out some cards for some players, but he is going to walk over and issue a yellow card here after discussing with his linesman. And the yellow card goes the way of Quinn Sullivan. Right, can't quite believe there wasn't something else offered there, but I think the referee has then come across and he's given Bright a red card. That's why he's protesting. Bright's been sent off. Miami are down to 10 men. Cavan Sullivan, I think, has also been sent off as well. Both teams down to 10 men late on. Cavan Sullivan came across to support his brother. Bright got himself involved as well. And it all got a little bit chaotic towards the end. Look at it, pictures of Bright trying to challenge Sullivan inside the tunnel as well. Both sides are protesting towards the referee. I think the referee has got the decision probably wrong on that occasion. I'll need to have another look. It looked just like both players were coming in. They were just grabbing each other more than anything. But in modern football, any high hands are always given. And both sides will play however long he's going to be left of this game. He could be playing all night at this point. The referee's still having conversations. The game's got to be up, surely. We're 5 minutes over the 9 that were added on. We'll have another look. Sullivan came across. Bright then did flash one out. And then he punched him again, actually. Bright certainly deserved a red card. He struck Sullivan with a hand as he turned round towards him. Then he struck him back. I'm not too sure what Cavan Sullivan has done wrong then. He's grabbed hold of his shirt to keep him away from him, and maybe his hand was a little bit too high while he grabbed him. But Sullivan didn't need to be sent off there, I don't think. Bright certainly did. Bright was pointing the fingers. Quinn Sullivan's got into the book as well. And the referee's still having debates going on. Just get on with the game. We're 5 minutes over the 9 added on. We're into the 15th minute, now the 16th minute of time added on. The referee's still having more checks for potential more cards to come. I don't know if any football's actually going to take place once the referee has dished enough cards. Lionel Messi's surely got to go into the book for just not leaving the referee's side throughout the last couple of minutes. But it would all started from Frey. Sullivan then took him out. His rugby tackled him to the ground. Then came in Sullivan to have a go at Bright. Bright then knocked him. Gave him 2 hits. And the referee says there is no more cards and there is no more football to be played. A wacky and wild ending to this game has finished Philadelphia 2, Miami 2. The Union started stronger and got off to a bright start, with Vasilev getting on the end of a delightful Westfield cross from the right inside the opening 10 minutes. Damiani kept himself onside but missed the gilt-edged chance to make it 2 10 minutes later. That was immediately punished as from the resulting attack, Messi found Suarez on the left, whose header went back across the corridor of uncertainty of the 6-yard box and was met by Pinter unmarked to level the game. 5 minutes later, the turnaround was complete for the away side. Segovia started it before being taken out. The ref played an excellent advantage as Frey found himself on the edge of the box with the ball, laid it across to Messi on the right, who brought it back onto his left and just scooped it in towards the far corner to give Miami a 2-1 lead with 3 players around him. Miami led 2-1 at half-time. Philadelphia came out in the second half the way they started the first, and then they levelled it with a wonderful Pierre header from a delightful Iloski free kick from the edge of the box to bring it back 2-2. He was then just offside 60 seconds later after a Wagner free kick came from the right on this occasion. His header back was saved by St. Clair, then tucked in by Iloski, but on VAR check it was ruled that Pierre is straight just offside. Iloski forced a fine save before Damiani had his shot blocked by Regulion on the line, who also stopped one on the line inside the first half. Both sides were trying to win it before a little bit of fisticuffs at the end saw both Cavan Sullivan and Bright sent off for either side. Sullivan might be able to protest his and appeal his. Bright certainly won't. A fantastic game that's finished Philadelphia 2, Miami 2. Miami now 7 points behind Nashville at the top of the table. Philadelphia continue their unbeaten run under the